It's showtime, and it is Latanya Washington here, and I am here with a person I consider to be a old friend because I've known him for years, even though we've had not had the chance to speak to one another within the recent years. Wow, I get a chance to still see him on social media. I get a chance to, say hey. He says hey every once in a while here on social media. And so today, you all, we're going to be talking about the new era of social media marketing, whether we're talking about social media marketing, digital marketing, networking marketing. We're going to talk about it today because this is where we are. And so many people I'm gonna save that for him because I have stuff that I want to talk about. But we're gonna talk about it on this afternoon. And so I tell you all, grab your pencils, grab your pieces of paper, and glean as much information today as you feel like gleaning from them. So we're gonna get into. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Latanya Washington, your host of Night School, and I'm excited because I have Conrad Padilla with us on this afternoon, and he is a person that is so inspirational, so informative, a person who's able to truly educate other people in this thing called marketing. And so I wanted to have him on this show this afternoon because so many people are trying to figure it out. What is social media marketing? What is digital marketing? What is network marketing? And he brings so much to the table. And so, Conrad, welcome to Night School.
Oh, well, I'm glad to be on, Latonya. And I just want to say to you as well, everybody who's watching right now, you guys are, what a blessing that it is to have somebody like Latonya to be able to do what she does. She has such a passion to help people and really make a difference out there in our world that needs a lot more positive in it. So thank you for doing this, and I'm so glad to be on.
I am so glad you are here because, I have questions too, but I'm going to try to hold off a little bit because we have a conversation to talk about on this afternoon. And we already know you can roll with it, Conrad. And so let's talk about this thing. I want to talk about this first because the topic of discussion is the new era of social media marketing. And so I want to get your thoughts in regards to that. Do you believe that social media marketing will go away? Is it a fad happening? Talk about it on this afternoon.
It's not a fad. I can tell you right now that it's one of the, everything's about communications. Everything's about communicating with one another. And, we all remember the days when you had, we would actually pick up the phone and have a conversation with people, right? And now, and then we went into emailing, and then we went into texting, and we went into Skype. Remember Skype? Where you hear that sound, it takes about 20 minutes for you to finally connect with somebody, right? Remember those days? And now I'm aging myself, right? But I think what it really comes down to, though, is social media has become a non-negotiable no matter what you do today. Yeah. People think sometimes that, well, I should only be doing things on social media if I have a business or something like that. I'm going to tell you right now that it has to do with anything that you're doing, because even if you want to get a job, what happens? Those people that are going to hire you, they're going to look at your social media platforms, and they're going to learn about what you're involved in. If they really want to hire you, in fact, that's really that's the new modern resume today. It is. So social media has become a non-negotiable today. Now, there's a lot of different platforms. You have obviously TikTok, and you have LinkedIn, and you have all these amazing platforms. And I think people should, if you're going to build your brand, find some platforms that you're still using Skype. I think that you should definitely use the platforms that you're the most comfortable with. I would honestly say that I think one of the things I see people doing today is they're trying to be on all the platforms.
Yeah.
and they're trying to figure them out. There's so many different platforms. Find a platform that makes sense for you and what you do. I would say my personal opinion as having a social media agency is that we tell our clients today that probably the most effective platform today is really Instagram. And a lot of that's because of the videos, things like that, because Facebook's great and Facebook owns Instagram. But the problem with Facebook, I think, is that people just, as we all know, they kind of dump whatever is on their mind on Facebook, and so I think that's one of the challenges there. And then, of course, LinkedIn is absolutely one of the best platforms that's ever been created, because you can learn about and connect with anybody, just like you and I. We reconnected,
that's right,
on LinkedIn. That just validates the platform.
And that is so true. And see, I know that you have your company, Hustle Media Group. And one thing about Conrad, you all, and we were talking about this even prior to jumping on this night school session, it's all about teams and being able to have a group of people on your side, and even giving different people different jobs or different things for them to do to make sure that everything is successful. So I want you now, because we already know too, you've worked on Wall Street. You all hear that? Wall Street. Okay. Yep. But I want you to share a little bit about teams and the importance of teamwork. And teams, developing teams.
Well, I learned this early on, and when I did work on Wall Street, I was with Morgan Stanley, UBS. I managed institutional money, worked on the New York Stock Exchange. I spent many years there, and one of the things that I learned early on was, I couldn't do everything, nor should I be. One of the things about Kobe Bryant, he was such an amazing leader. Yes, he was a great basketball player, but he was also an amazing leader, and he was a great leader in business and everything. And one of the things he says, a good leader knows the lane that they need to be in, and they know the lane that they shouldn't be in. Yeah. And that's the truth of the matter. Is I think that the key to a lot of this is that you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. The other thing is, you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room. If you're trying to do something, you have to make sure that you bring people in that are better than you at some of the things that you're trying to accomplish. Right. You have your own unique gifts, and that's great. But I think it really comes down to the fact that whatever you're trying to accomplish, you have to be able to have those types of people around you that are going to help you get to the next level. And that's what I learned, early on when I was managing assets on Wall Street, is that, you can always tell a good leader by the team that they build.
Ooh. By the team that they built. And I'm glad you brought that up, because too, I think it's always good when you look at different age groups. Because for me, I just recently hired 2 young ladies who are, oh my God, I think they're in their early 20s.
Yeah.
Because we know too, they are innovative. They bring their own creativity, and it's okay. So, I found myself even stepping outside of the box, because I think a lot of times, Conrad, we want to have that control. Well, I'm going to just speak for myself. Is that control factor? But you really, really can't. You have to allow other people to help you along the way. And then, as you were saying, just building those teams together. Because tell us a little bit about Hustle Media Group and everything that you bring to the table, because I'm telling you all, Conrad is amazing.
Well, I appreciate it, LaTonya. So for me, one of the things that I did is I'm the type of person, anytime I want to create a company, there has to be a need for the company. There has to be a need for what we do. If there's no need, then why would I want to do it? Right. So one of the things I have is I have a large direct selling company that I've had for 14 years, for actually almost 15 years now. And we move tons of product through iHeartRadio and all sorts of different platforms. In fact, I had a couple of guys that flew in from Washington, D.C. that were here over the weekend here. And one of them has over 1 million followers on TikTok. Another one has several followers, tens of thousands of followers on Instagram. And so they're going to get involved in my direct selling company, because that's how we build things now through direct selling is through, word of mouth and different types of platforms. Hustle Media Group, I started the company about 3.5+ years ago, somewhere in that area. And the reason I did that was because I saw there was such a need in the market for people to learn how to build their brand and business strategy, and because most people really don't know how to build their brand. What they do is they think posting's building their brand. And one of the most dangerous things that you can do is not offer value when you post. People follow you and are interested in you by you offering value to them.
Yeah.
And yes, you can you have a lot of people that say, hey, I want to monetize YouTube. I want to monetize the platforms. I want to monetize. Well, you're not going to monetize anything if nobody's following you because you offer no value to them. So
you teach a class just on how to create value. Okay, I'll keep talking.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it comes down to, and a lot of that has to do with people don't have posting schedules. When you have structure with your posting, okay, what I mean by that is that you should have a schedule of your posts. What I tell people, for example, is on Mondays, maybe you do motivation Mondays.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, testimonial Tuesdays. Wednesday could be something on a different topic, and Thursdays could be, whatever it is that you want to do, you should have some sort of schedule. You should have some sort of a game plan, because then you're not just going out there and posting stuff and people are unfriending you and saying, hey, this person's crazy and I don't want to follow you or whatever. You have to have a game plan with respect to your social media posting. So what I did is I surrounded myself with an amazing group of people. One of them, Brian, he's got 20 years plus of experience. He builds high-end apps, high-end websites. He understands analytics from Google and Facebook and these companies at another level, because at the end of the day, what people don't really realize is the social media platforms make all their money by selling your information. They know what you like, what you don't like, every time you like something, click on something, whatever, those are all going into analytics, and then they sell that information, and that's how they make money. So Brian is able to, go in there and understand the analytics so that we can help our clients with respect to getting new customers and followers and other types of things like that. So you really do have to have a team that knows what they're doing and understands all these different platforms. And so we have a very, very talented group of people that, we have people that do blogs and build custom apps and do Facebook posting and Instagram posting. And you have to have people that can eat and breathe these platforms, because they're all very different.
They're all very different. And I'm glad you brought that up, especially with analytics, because a lot of times we're not paying attention to that. Yeah. And it is very vital. And I want you all to know this. Paying attention to your analytics, the monitoring and tracking, allow somebody else to come in, even though you may understand it, because we already know these Facebook platforms, the functionality of many of them, they'll allow you to see the analytics, the impressions, the reach, the demographics, things of that nature. But a lot of times, you all, if you're really, really looking to utilize these social media platforms and utilizing digital media, you really need someone who is able to who really understands it and really knows how to make sure the connections are working. Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna let you talk more about that. Making sure the connections are working, making sure the channels are in order, the pixels, and half the folk don't even know what, that is about. But it is so necessary for this thing called the new era of social media for it to operate effectively. Share a little bit about that more.
It's true what you said though, even the pixel, for example, and the other thing too is just to talk a little about, pixels are something that you can install on the website, so that if somebody goes to your website, you can actually track them, retarget them, or remarket to them, things like that. But what a lot of people don't realize too, though, is you may not need a website. Maybe you just need a landing page. And there is a difference, and there's a big difference in cost. The other thing too, we have a client right now, and their website looks, I'm not going to say what company they are, but their website looks like an engineer designed it. And the reality is that, when the average person's going to their website, they're probably not engineers. So it needs to be very simple, less clicking that you have on your website, the better. But that's what we do with our clients. Is most of our clients, we just, most of them actually just require a landing page. It's a basic landing page. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You can still install a pixel, a retargeting pixel on there. But I think that's the key, is just understanding what you need and what you don't need.
Right.
So many people out there go, they go to companies and they say, well, yeah, I've got a website. Okay, well, really? Well, do you know if anybody's even going there? Because
Is
if
it
nobody's
working?
going there,
Right.
what's the point of your website? Right? I mean,
Hell, they're not going. What's the point?
what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah, what's the point of it? And then the other thing is, what I also tell people too is social media platforms, if you're going to advertise and you're going to use these platforms, you have to be patient. Okay. They're not something people think sometimes, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to start doing ads for 30 days and, or 60 days and that's it. Well, the reality is that you're not even going to know who your audience is for 30 days. You know what I'm saying? But here's the crazy part.
Preaching, Conrad, you're preaching.
But Latonya, here's the crazy part. People can access, millions and millions of people, and it doesn't even take a lot of capital. I mean, what you can run YouTube ads for, Facebook ads for, I mean, it's insane how many people and the analytics that are included in that. And people, sometimes people will look, well, I don't know if I could spend $200 a month. I'm thinking, okay, let me get this straight. You're putting yourself in front of tens of thousands of people, and you know who they are because the analytics are there, and you're spending a few $100s a month. Remember the old days when we used to do things with the yellow pages, traditional yellow pages,
Yep.
and you would spend $500 or $800 a month or whatever the case may be, and you don't even know who's actually looking at your ad. You're hoping somebody calls you, right?
Exactly.
Or those types of things. So a lot of it really does have to do with the fact that you have to be patient. You have to be patient with your posting. But however, the other part of that too, though, is if you're a real estate agent, for example, a real estate broker, your job is to go out there and put yourself in front of customers, sign people. You got to remember that your job is not to be a guru and building websites and analytics. That is not your job. Stop being cheap. Okay.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, do what you're supposed to be doing. Going back to what I was saying, like what Kobe would say, stay in your lane. Most people who are really successful, they stay in their lane. A business is a business, and you have to spend the money. I mean, it's like with me. I have a team that does a lot of the things that I don't even have an interest in learning how they do it.
Oh my God.
I don't want to know, because I know what I'm passionate about, and I know what I'm good and what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I also know what I'm not supposed to be doing. When Brian sits there and he starts geeking out about Google Analytics and this and that, I just sit there and I just go like this. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. All I know is this is what we're trying to accomplish. Now let's go do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And he gets excited about it, does he not? I'm sure.
He's bouncing off the walls, and we can install this pixel and do this, and Google Ads can do this now, and Google Ads can do this stuff through Gmail now, because you can actually run ads through Gmail now. Most people don't know that.
Whoa,
so
I didn't know that one. Gmail.
Yeah, so if you run Google Ads for a while, then you have the privilege with Google. Google is very powerful, and one of the things that what they'll do is, if you run ads with them for a while, then they'll consider you for running what's called Gmail ads. And so you can actually run ads. So when people go to their Gmails, guess what happens?
Everything.
Ads pop up and everything else. So
the stuff you love, right?
Yeah, there's so many different things that are available with all these different platforms, but you have to have the people around you that can tell you this stuff. It's not your job to know that.
No. And that's the thing. And, we can attest to the fact that we'll sit there sometimes and try to figure something out. But like you were saying, it's not your job to do that, because, and I think I posted that I just posted that inside of our community this morning, because a lot of times we're trying to figure it out and we're trying to do something, and it's taking away your own creativity for you to sit down and go do something different. And so, you know what, when you really mean this thing, because as we were saying, this is the era. This is the new era of social media marketing, and everyone's here. And true, like we were talking, this is so good, you all. This is amazing. And like we were talking about the analytics, because I always tell people customers go through a journey. And that's why I'm a customer journey strategist. They go through a journey. They have triggers. They have all of that. But you'll never know what's happening if you don't have someone that's tracking and monitoring. Just like you were saying, going to that landing page or going to that website, you need to know who's actually tapping in. Correct?
Yeah. Well, and the other part of that too is I like to use metaphors. And one of the things I tell people is that it's like fishing. I used to do a lot of deep sea fishing in the ocean, and one of the things that I tell our clients and clients that we're considering, having managing their stuff, I said, look, it's like fishing. I said, you have to put different bait, and you have to put your pole in different areas of the ocean, just like when I used to fish, in the ocean. And one of the things and one reason why you do that is because you'll never know what's the best bait. When you start doing things on social media, as far as different posts, different videos, different this, different that, you're going to find that some things are working better than others. If some things are working better than others, guess what? That's the bait. That's what you need to be doing. If you find, for example, that you're getting clients from a certain area, guess what? You need to put more of your fishing poles in that pond, which means you need to up your ad budget. So there's all these different things that you do to be able to see, like, once again, like fishing, as far as, do I have my fishing poles in the right pond? It's like, once again, a real estate agent. If a real estate agent is focused on Newport Beach, California, why would they want to have their fishing poles in Anaheim, California? Do you see what I'm saying? So social media allows you to be that specific as far as, where you want to focus on.
Right. And that's true. It allows you, it gives you everything that you need to literally figure this thing out. But you know what, and like you were saying, you have to be willing to put money in, because, Conrad, we know it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
It takes money to make money. We can't just, we don't live there, as we tell folks. When you're first starting out something, okay, we get it. Okay, you're solo, you're trying to figure it out. But it should get to a period of time in your life where you're saying, I'm not taking this anymore. This needs to work for me. Yeah. So therefore, I need to have things in place, people in place that know what they're doing, so I can make things happen. Okay, so let me get back to that patience, because share some more about that, Conrad, because a lot of times people look at the fact, okay, I posted this, I'm gonna give it a week, or I'm starting this marketing campaign and nothing's happening. Talk about that patience, because, oh my God, go ahead, Conrad.
Well, the thing about it is nobody becomes a professional overnight. Okay. Nobody becomes professional overnight. I mean, really think about what you do for a living right now. Those of you guys that are watching this right now. Okay. You didn't become a success story overnight. I mean, even if you look at Elon Musk, or you look at Richard Branson, Richard Branson just literally launched an airplane, basically, that went into space and landed like an airplane. Okay. I mean, people don't even really understand what he did. That didn't come overnight.
Nope.
Nothing comes overnight. And so building your brand doesn't come overnight. Good or bad, by the way, because you know what? You can destroy your brand too. One of the things I tell my daughters, who are both in college, I tell them, both of them, I said, your post affects your brand.
Yes, it does.
It affects who's going to hire you and who's not going to hire you. And that's across the board. And so what I would tell people is, be patient with building your brand. Be careful with building your brand. Don't post anything on there that can destroy or damage your brand. You have to protect your brand at all costs. Okay, because remember, at the end of the day, how you feel for the moment doesn't matter long term. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's the truth. If you feel a certain way, then talk to somebody outside of social media platforms. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. And then what you're doing now. What I also would say to those of you guys that are doing whatever you're doing now, okay, look at what you're doing and saying, okay, have I plateaued? Have I, if you're not where you want to be, I mean, we're over halfway through the year. If you're not even close to where you want to be with those goals that you set in January, then that means you probably need to bring some people around you that can help you with what you're doing, because what you're doing is not working.
It's not working.
And one of the most dangerous places that you can be complacent.
Oh my God.
It's the truth. I mean, it is the truth. So bring people around you that are better than you at certain things and things like that. And I'm telling you, you're going to go to a totally different level. I have a guy that he made $37 million last year, and he's semi-retired, by the way. Okay. And this guy is so entertaining. Him and his family are always traveling. He's this great guy. He's so fun and everything else. But, he says, hey, Conrad, can you help me with my brand, and I want to maybe get a podcast show going and this and that, because I do a lot of stuff with iHeartRadio, and I work with a guy named George Noory. George Noory is like number 3 most listened to guy in the United States and Canada. And I says, yeah, absolutely. But the point is, this guy who made $37 million last year is saying, look, there's some things that I need to do. I need to bring some people around me to help me with what I'm trying to accomplish, because he has a passion to help people with entrepreneurship. That's his passion. Wow. And so you have to kind of look at what you're doing too and say, don't say I've arrived, because you haven't arrived. Okay. Nobody's arrived. No true entrepreneur has said, I'm good. I mean, look at all this. Look at all the billionaires that are out there today. Okay, I mean, they're always, going to try
to moving. They don't stop.
Yeah. And then another thing I'll say to you too is, and this is something I learned the other day. And I mean, just a quick little story. But the other day I was with my daughter, and she was shopping in her store, and she dropped me off at Home Depot. And so there's this guy standing out there, probably about 5 foot, 2, or maybe not even that. And he's standing out there with a little can in a white suit, collecting money from the homeless and all that kind of stuff. And I started talking to him, and his English was okay and everything. And he says, doesn't matter what country that you live in. He says, everything's difficult. He says, and if you own the business, or if you're the boss, it's supposed to be more difficult. Okay. And he says, yesterday I was in Palm Desert, California, and it was 117 degrees. It wasn't complaining. It was 117 degrees. And I'm sitting there thinking, this guy right here that I didn't even know, who I was going to, talk to him today, because I had one of those days, just like every one of you guys, where you're like, man, I can't wait for this day to be over, and this and that. So the reality for a lot of that is that you get to have the problems that you have. You get to have the problems that you have. It's the truth. And if you have more problems, and because you're the owner, or you're the boss, or you're the manager, you're supposed to have more problems. That's the way that it is, right? Yeah. So where I'm going with that for you guys that are watching this right now is, if you don't like maybe where you're at in your business right now, or your brand where it's at right now, then you probably need to shake up your brand a little bit and get some smarter people around you. You should not be the smartest person in the room. That's the truth.
That's deep. That's real, Conrad. You cannot be the smartest person in the room, and you have to be open and willing to get some help, because we're not going to be able, especially entrepreneurs. You have your startups, you have your ones that are growing, and then you have ones that are looking to scale. You're not going to go to the next level on your own. I'm sorry. And for years we talked about solopreneurs.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine at the beginning, but you have to get to the point where you have to have enough is enough. Pull somebody in that can help you along the way, because now you have freelancers, you have people that they're everywhere now. Get some help. Yeah. So we can, you can monetize, you can have your goals accomplished that you set yourself up to accomplish. But you said something key, Conrad. We're now 6 months into 2021, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So if you realize something hasn't changed, or you have not grown, or you have not added any people to your team, okay, stop. Stop right now, today. This is you all's aha moment that'll watch this and say, I need some help. And if you need some help, here, Conrad's here. I'm here. DM one of us and get some help, because we're able to connect, and we're able to even share what we know, or even and share that information with you, because we don't want to see anyone stuck, and we don't want to see anyone as you stagnant and just there like, woe is me. Because guess what? Go ahead, Conrad.
Well, I love figuring stuff out. That's my passion. Yeah. My passion is for somebody to come to us, and I can figure out what the issue is. Yeah. It's a passion of mine. I love figuring stuff out. Yeah.
Figuring out the issue. And you got to be willing and open to say, this is my issue. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you. As people
well, what it is, Latanya, too, is most people don't ask for help because of their ego. And that's the truth. And you know what ego stands for?
I'm going to throw a shoe at you, Conrad. Let me find a shoe.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And you know what ego stands for? Edging God out.
Oh. Okay?
Because it's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is your ego has no place in leadership. No place. A true leader does not have a big ego. A true leader is humble. There's a book out there that I would highly recommend to you guys. Okay. It's by Ray Dalio, called Principles. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the book by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is the biggest hedge fund man in the hedge fund man in the world. He manages Tony Robbins' money, Richard Branson's money. I mean, it's such a great book on building teams, okay, and leadership. But it's a really good book. I've read it two times. I'm gonna probably read it again because it's such a good book. But Ray Dalio, and it's called Principles.
Principles. Okay, we can get that on Amazon, right? Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's a good, that sounds like that's a good book to read. Oh my God. Okay, see, I could keep going, but I'm gonna try to stop because I wanted to get to them SMART goals. But I'm gonna let it go. I'm going to let it go. You may have to come back on again, Conrad. I'm gonna have to come and visit you and Jill. Tell Jill I said hello, please.
I will.
Okay, someone said, right, LaShawn. Like LaShawn is saying, okay, you get to have the problems that you have. If you don't like it, shake the tree.
You're right.
You're
so right.
Right. It'll take you down every single time. And okay, thank you for ego, edging God out. And so many people are walking around with egos and are afraid to ask for help. But we cannot be afraid. You have to be willing to say, I know LaShawn definitely, when she needs help, like, I need some help. That's for sure. And that's the best place to be. It's the best place to be.
It is.
Conrad, I am so glad that you joined night school with me today. You wouldn't mind coming back again?
No, anytime. We could talk about all kinds of different things. Like I said, I have a huge passion to help people.
Yeah.
I don't believe that anybody was put here to do average, be average. I believe we're all here to do great things. And sometimes you need just a little bit of encouragement to do that. And so I'd love to come back on again anytime. Just let me know.
Amazing. I think in the list tour we're doing, I'm having a master class. And so I may be calling you just to teach a class just in that on this, because so many people we need as much information as we can possibly have. And we need people like you who we're able to glean from and feel safe. You make people feel safe, Conrad, because, I mean, you really, really do, because we have people out there that like, I'm not telling you my business.
No, but it's true. But that all goes back to the same thing again, too, though, is, social media is a great platform, but there are some things that you have to be very careful with, too. And that once again, it comes back to the fact that you got to make sure you surround yourself with the right people to guide you.
Exactly. To guide you. And that's what it's all about. And so, oh my goodness. Okay. See, I'm going to get some good rest and think about this. I'm going to play this over and over and over again. And you all know you can always go back and watch this video. It's on LaTonyaWashington.com. As you see, we're over on LinkedIn. We are on, I don't even know where we are anymore. That's my web specialist. My web specialist does all this stuff. I know it LinkedIn.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. You shouldn't be doing all that stuff.
Okay, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. And so, and it's amazing. And so, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For your wealth of knowledge, for your willingness to join us and share this information, because now, even as entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to be about the business. Whatever you're doing, whatever or how you want the world to see you, this thing called social media and digital media marketing, it is so real, you all. It is your resume. This is how you connect with people around the world, because we're global. And so give us your last words on this afternoon, Conrad, before we leave here.
Don't settle for average. We're living, in my personal opinion, we're living in one of the best times ever right now. One of the best times ever right now to do business. The world has become very small. All the businesses that I have, I do globally. I mean, I literally had a call the other day with somebody in South Africa, England. I mean, there is no excuse for people to be doing business just at a local level anymore. You gotta be involved in businesses that allow you to build on a global scale. If we're gonna learn anything over the last 15, 16 months, as far as the crazy environment, is that you have to be diversified with respect to how you make money. You do not risk it for the sake of your family with one income stream. Have multiple income streams. People thought I was crazy 5.5 years ago when we started this whole thing with iHeartRadio. And today, you know, as I said, I'm working with one of the top guys in the country. We're moving millions and millions of dollars of product per month on iHeartRadio in the U.S. and Canada.
Now you all see why I like to hang around certain people. That's right. Okay. Yes. 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 I'll be visiting more often, Conrad.
Anytime, Latanya. Jill told me to get. She sends her love. So.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you all so much. And okay, I know they're still over there talking in the comments, but you all take heed of all of this information that we are sharing with you this afternoon, because we want to see you successful. And one thing that we've learned in life and in business and doing everything that we're doing, it takes people, and it takes you being surrounded by people that's going to sharpen you so you're not stagnant, so you're not stuck, because you can propel, you can soar, you can go higher from where you are right now. Just like Conrad just said, diversified, global. I mean, social media, all this stuff allows you to hit people around the world, period. And so you can do what you do, and you can do what you love to do. And so thank you all so much for being a part of Night School. We appreciate you so very much. Go to the site. You can connect with Conrad. All of his links are there. If you have further information, further things that you want to obtain from him, he is there. We're going to bring him back. And once again, you guys, I have nothing left. I'm depleted. I have just amazing, Conrad. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm happy to. It was a pleasure.
And until next week, you guys, thank you so much for joining us here on Night School.